Well, good evening. I'm going to go over building the title graphic, getting it into our game. So, if we look at our current game, when it runs, we have a start screen here. The start screen consists of a title, the instructions on how to fly up, how to fly down, what key to press in order to start, and what key to press in order to fire. We're going to replace all of these five text objects with a graphic image. We're going to build that graphic image in Photopea. So this is build title graphic and get it in the game. That's what we did today. So I'm going to open up Photopea. There are some parameters here. It's got to be 400 pixels by 480 pixels. So we'll go over here to Photopea, click New Project, and this one's going to be called Title Booth Underbar Demo. You could just make yours title with your last name, please. The width is going to be set to 400. The height set to 480. That will match the size of the canvas. This is the canvas, the space here, this rectangle we see. That's the canvas that we're placing our game on. This graphic we're going to create is going to match that canvas. Set the background to transparent, click Create. Now, if your grid lines are not on, remember Control 0 makes full screen, Control 1 makes it an actual size. We'll work with Control 0. If your grid lines are not on, see my grid lines just disappeared? You can get to your grid lines by clicking View, Show, Grid. See, my grid doesn't have a little check mark, does it? Also, always make sure that this one's got a check mark. Don't click it. Make sure that one's got a check mark. Otherwise, none of these will show up. But now make sure the grid's got a check mark. Bing, mine just showed up. Now, initially, yours might not show up because yours might have, um, that might. It might come out just perfect. I have my grid gap set to 40 for this exercise. So that's a good grid gap. If yours came in at 40, that's great. If your grid gap's not 40, set it to 40. That gives you a really nice usable grid for building your graphic. You want to keep this top row right here completely empty because your terrain and your score are going to be there. You want to keep the bottom row empty because, again, your terrain is going to be down there and you want the terrain to be free to move. It can be seen in the graphic. But all of the rows in between, except for right about in the middle here where we spawn the player ship, we don't want anything over where the player ship will be either. All the rest of the space is available for you to use to create this graphic for your game. So we're going to be using text objects. So I'm going to click on the type tool, the text tool. If you hold your mouse down on that, you'll see there's actually a vertical type tool. You might want to experiment with that, up to you. But I'm going to use the type tool, just the horizontal. I'm going to click and drag out a box, and after I drag out the box, I'm going to immediately type the name of my game. And sixth block, that was Flaming Skulls. And initially, I'm going to bump the size of that up. Well, hold on a second. Let me select all the text. There we go. And I'll bump the size of the text up. There we go. Flaming Skull is a little too big. Remember, you can also adjust the edges of these boxes. You can pull them out, just stretch it. And again, adjusting the size. That's about good. Might stretch that box a little bit more. One thing I want you to do here is to go through the different fonts. There are a mountain of fonts. Most of the time, when you first log in, the font that it gives you is supposed to be, can I find it? There it is, Deja Vu Sans. Deja Vu Sans. This is Deja Vu Sans. I hope I don't see a lot of Deja Vu Sans, okay? I want to know that you got into the different fonts and you found something that was going to look good. You know, that's really, You'd have to work hard to make that font look good. But there are so many different fonts. You can check them out by clicking on them and see already that one looks kind of nicer. But let me see what else is available besides Deco. And there is a preview off to the side right here, but the preview is only a rough preview. Here's Destroy. Flaming. Okay, if I lower the size, there we go. Flaming Skulls. Yeah, that might be interesting. And I'm only down to the letter D. There's a lot of letters in the alphabet. Gothic. Yeah, that's unimpressive. So, I want you to go through the different possible. I've used that one, EC Dokado. I just used Faster 1 in 6th block. I'm just down to the letter F too. I actually haven't been down past the letter F here in class. Frederica the Great. All right, I kind of like that. Got to bring that size back up now. Flaming Skulls. And let me change the color to like a light bluish. And then let me see what that looks like. Flaming Skulls. I kind of like that. It's kind of cool. One thing you can do here, I'm going to click to the Move tool. See the Move tool right here? Make sure that the Transform Control is checked. See, mine's not checked. Little box disappears. Check that. And I'm going to click on the Flaming Skulls here. And again, look there, a checkbox. I uncheck the checkbox. Where'd that little box go? If I check it, now I get the Transform controls. I want to use those. Watch me stretch this text. And you can do that to your text. Stretches out, looks pretty nice. I like that. Makes it even look more like a title with that tall marquee characteristic to it. And again, I'm staying off the very top edge here. So there's my Flaming Skulls title. Now I'll make another text layer. And this one is going to be the layer where we say, now we got to change something here, okay? Because the size is still set to 72. I'm going to drop that back down to about 24. And hold mouse down to fly up. And by the way, I don't want to keep using that title font. I don't want to use that font for my instructions. I want to use a different font. I want to use more of a typical font for that. Yeah, that might work. Yeah, even that works too. Let me see here. Click on my background. Hold mouse down to fly up. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm going to get the Move tool and click on the hold mouse down to fly up. Notice how it's a little off to the left. I want to center it. I want to set it on my graphic. Now, you might, it's up to you how you want to set these. But remember, we want to leave this spot in the middle right here kind of open. So hold mouse down to fly up. Click and make another text object right underneath here. Release mouse to fly down. I'll switch to the Move tool. Set that position there. All right, that looks pretty good. I'll create another text object down here. And this one's going to be press G key to play. Press G key to play. The last text object I'm going to make is press Control key to fire. Press Control key to fire. I'll get that Move tool. Let's see. Press G key to play. Pretty good. Press the control key to fire. That position's pretty good. All right, everything looks pretty centered nicely. Um, then we still have a little bit of space left here along the bottom and even over in this area right here. And we can bring in some graphics. In each class, we can check out another class here. Here's fifth block. On the assignment, if you go back 1, 2, 3 assignments, it's firing projectiles, among other things. And on that assignment in the instructions, you're going to find a link to the graphics for the enemy graphics that your classmates made. You could actually include some of these graphics in your game if you wanted to, like Christian's Fireball. I'll go ahead and click on that and click on the link, and there is the graphic for Christian's Fireball. I'll right click it, save the image, and I'm going to put this over in my game art prep, and we'll just call this Christian's Fireball. And I'll save that there. Now, I've saved that into a folder where I know its location is. I can come back here to Photopea, and I'll click on File, Open, and Place. And navigate to my game art folder, to my prep, and hey, there's Chris's Fireball. There's my flaming skull. I'm going to grab that too. And here's Chris's Fireball. I'm going to move Chris's Fireball like right down over here. Okay. And then, we just saw my flaming skull, and as long as I'm there, go File, Open, and Place. Let me grab my flaming skull. And let's see, where do I want to put my flaming skull? I guess that'll work. And let me go grab one more enemy just to show you again how it's done. Evil astronaut from another universe. That's pretty diabolical. That's quite the name, Matthew. We'll right click that, save the image as, and this will be Matthew's evil. What did he call that thing? Robot from another universe. Something like that. Evil astronaut from another universe. All right, so I've saved that and come back over here and File, Open, in Place. And I've navigated to that folder where I'm storing it. Matthew's evil astronaut from another universe. There we go. We could put that one like right out here. Ooh, be careful not to move the pivot around. And then maybe I'll get one more off the list here. Off page 2, Hardy. And we'll right click and we'll grab Hardy. And then we will go back to Photopea, click File, Open, and Place. And there's Rocio's heart. And we'll put that one like right down over here. Like we're trying to bring the good guys and the bad guys together. Anyway, that's a title graphic. So now we got to make sure we save our PSD file. So File, Save as PSD. And I'll put this one in my prep. This is my title booth demo. Good, that's a nice place to put it. And I'm going to save it there. That saves the file as the PSD. Then, to get ready for the next class session, because we're going to be using this, we're going to export it as a PNG. And we'll take all the standard settings and click Save. Now, that gets sent to your Downloads folder. So let's bring our Downloads folder into the picture. I opened up the File Explorer. If you mouse over your taskbar, you'll always see there's a folder down there, and if you click on that, it will open up a File Explorer. And we're actually going to open up another File Explorer here. But first off, we want to click on Downloads. Get to your Downloads folder, because that's where, when you export from Photopea, it goes right into your Downloads folder. I'm going to go grab that title from my Downloads folder, and I'm going to press Control X to cut it, and it's cut. And then these are shortcuts I have that get me to my game art folder. My game art folder, my prep. Here's where I'm been storing all those assets. And I will go ahead and Control V, paste it. Now, that's the PNG file that we're going to need to send up to Code High School. And we'll be getting to that later. Although you should know how to upload that to Code High School. We don't need that link just yet because we got to set it up in our code tomorrow. When we get this set up, we're going to get rid of these text-based title and instructions, and we're going to replace it with our Photopea graphic. Thanks, and that's going to be, I think, it.